Okay, good morning everyone. I'm Commander Michael Collins, Houston Police Department Vehicular Crimes Division. I'm going to give you some of the facts about the accident we had this morning. The initial call dropped as an auto theft off the 14700 block of Summermeyer, a local trucking company. Patrol officers arrived to the scene, spoke with the trucking company, and learned that an 18-wheeler had been stolen from the location. The trucking company was able to track the 18-wheeler, and they tracked it to a location near Breen and 249. Patrol officers arrived at that location just after midnight, approximately 12:20 a.m. At that time, the responding patrol unit observed the 18-wheeler. The suspect was still inside the 18-wheeler. Preliminary information suggests there was a brief pursuit. The officers attempted to initiate a traffic stop. The suspect did not stop and instead traveled down Lincoln toward the intersection here at McKinley Street, 11500 McKinley. At that time, the suspect bailed out of the moving vehicle, sustained some minor injuries, and the 18-wheeler continued to travel down Lincoln and crashed into the mobile home park directly behind me. There were four people inside the mobile home that was struck. Two of them were uninjured. There was a male that was trapped beneath the gas tank of the truck and sustained some major injuries. Unfortunately, there was also a woman inside the residence that did not survive. So that's what we have so far. The suspect is in custody and is being treated at a local hospital for some minor injuries.
Can you go back to the initial, you said the trucking company, where was that at again? What was the name?
It was 14700 Summermeyer Street, and I do not have the name of the trucking company. Summermeyer? I believe it's Sommermeyer, 14700 block.
And then you said the suspect jumped out of the truck and kind of just let it keep going?
Correct. Our information suggests that the suspect jumped out of the driver's seat while the truck was still in motion, and the truck remained in drive. At that point, continued through this metal gate and struck one of the residences behind me.
About how long was that chase from the Summermeyer location to this? Like 10 miles? How much would you gauge?
I'd say probably less than a mile. The officers activated their emergency equipment. The truck did not stop, and it was a very brief pursuit.
What time did you get the call that the truck was stolen at the company?
Initially, the call came in as an auto theft at approximately 10:40 p.m. So that would have been last night, October 25th.
So 10:40, and then midnight is when they actually located it and that chase started?
Correct, ma'am.
Okay.
Just after midnight, let me back up. The trucking company was able to track their truck. So just after midnight on October 26th, the patrol officers located the stolen vehicle with the suspect still inside.
And sir, maybe you already mentioned this, forgive me if you did or not, but how fast was that vehicle going when you crashed at that moment?
That is going to be part of the investigation. I know there is some surveillance footage, and right now we have our experts on scene doing a 3D scan. So I'd really hate to be too hasty. Just from the significant amount of damage, we know that it was traveling at an excessive speed, but I don't have an exact speed for you.
Do we have a description on the victim, the woman who died?
My information suggests that she was approximately 50 years old, a white female, and that's all the information I have at this time concerning her identity.
Do you know the relationship between the two?
The relationship between the suspect and the...
No. The people in the home, the woman that is not with us anymore.
Yes. I'm sorry. I don't have that information, so I'd hate to speculate. I know they were related, both the male who was injured and the deceased as well.
Was the suspect given any indication as to why he did this? Was he under the influence of something? Was it said anything?
It's a great question. It's going to be part of our investigation. Since he is currently being treated for minor injuries, we of course have a police presence at that hospital, and he is in custody. I do not believe at this point we have taken a statement from the suspect.
Was it just one mobile home or were there more homes?
Looks like it was just one mobile home involved with the accident.
Do you believe that they were sleeping at this time, or do we not know?
That's a good question, and I really couldn't answer it. I'm sorry.
What kind of charges are we looking at so far?
I'd like to defer to Sean Tier with the district attorney's office to answer any charge-related questions.
What's the cleanup look like? And it is.
It's going to be extensive. It's going to be an extensive cleanup, and in order to extract the 18-wheeler from the residence, it's going to take quite a bit of time. We have a lot of resources on scene. We have a heavy-duty wrecker, which is going to be required to actually remove that vehicle.
Now, forgive me, you might have already mentioned this as well, but I see some other vehicles nearby that were hit and have
Yes, ma'am.
other damage surrounding this in addition to the house.
Yes, we believe the vehicle. There's a truck that's on its side. We believe that was parked in front of the residence prior to the impact. So it was unoccupied. There was nobody inside that parked vehicle.
Were there any kids at home?
I'm sorry.
Any kids at home?
I don't believe there were any kids. The information I have now is that there were 4 adults inside the home. Two of whom were uninjured, and we had the one male who was injured, sustained some serious injuries.
Commander,
Was the
Yes.
woman confirmed dead on scene?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. She was.
Commander, can you talk about the amount of resources that were required to handle this operation and talk about the phases of it and where we're at now?
Yes. We have resources from multiple agencies. The initial call was in Houston's jurisdiction, so we had HPD responding to the initial auto theft call at 10:40 p.m. last night. But the crash actually occurred in Harris County, so Harris County is actually going to take primary on the crash investigation. So we have Harris County, HPD, the district attorney's office, and HFD as well. I might have missed somebody, but I think that's
I know
it.
there were at least 3 or 4 different fire agencies.
Oh,
as
yes,
well.
yes, several different fire agencies. I can't tell you exactly which other agencies are on the scene currently. I know we have several.
I mean, the amount of manpower that was required for
Yes,
this operation. Can you just talk to that?
it is going to be extensive. As far as vehicular crimes is concerned, we have our crash reconstruction unit out here who are the experts in the field. And so we have crash reconstruction, we have patrol units on scene from Northwest Division, as well as our crash line personnel from Vehicular Crimes Division, in addition to the resources provided by the Harris County District Attorney's Office.
And you talked about it briefly, but can you tell us what it took to be able to rescue the man who was trapped?
I actually, that happened before I got here. It's my understanding that he did sustain serious injuries, but that he is not in critical condition at this time. So very serious injuries, but he's going to be okay. I think that they were able to extract him relatively easily when emergency services arrived on scene.
How long it took you to get him out? Did it take very long when he was pinned in there?
I actually wasn't here when they extracted him. I believe that was a fairly quick process with that individual, and then emergency services was able to get to him and render aid in a timely manner.
Did the company that reported the 18-wheeler stolen, did they say anything about why it may have been targeted for any particular reason?
They did not provide that information, but that again will be part of the investigation.
How far from when the suspect left the truck did it travel, or do we know more or less when he jumped down how far that truck traveled?
It would be an approximation. If you guys can see behind me here at the intersection, I believe the suspect jumped out near the stop sign here, and it traveled, I don't know, maybe 60, 70 feet. That's a rough guess. Yes.
Sean, can you speak to us a little bit about what charges and where we go from here?
Yeah. Sean Tier, Seanteare, Chief of the Harris County DA's Office, Vehicular Crimes Division. As the commander said, the suspect is in custody. He was initially being pursued for unauthorized use of a motor vehicle. He stole a big rig. Once he began fleeing from the officers trying to detain him, he added another felony to the list, evading in a motor vehicle. We are not going to file either of those charges because those charges are going to be wrapped up into the fact that when he took that woman's life, he committed felony murder. So he's being charged with felony murder. He's also being charged with reckless aggravated assault for the injuries that he caused to the adult male in the house. What we know about this individual right now is that he has a very long criminal history. We've initially been able to identify the fact that he is currently out on parole for evading in a motor vehicle. He is what we call a true habitual, meaning he's gone to prison more than once before the commission of this offense. Tomorrow morning we're going to be in a few hours, we're going to be filing motions to hold this individual at no bond for the pendency of this case. It's a very kind of narrow avenue where you can hold someone without any bond at all before a criminal charge has been actually proven. And one of those is if they are habitual offenders. In this case, he checks that box on a number of different avenues. When you talk about just getting behind the wheel at all, for someone to already have been convicted of running from the police and then decide to do it in an 18-wheeler and literally leave that vehicle and just direct it as a missile into a house, this is one of those that's going to stay with you a while. This is as brazen and callous as any of these crashes that we deal with. As the commander said, this is also somewhat unique in that the theft of the truck occurred in the city of Houston. The city of Houston was investigating it. The city of Houston Police Department started this pursuit, but the crash ended in Harris County. So I'm working right now with two of the best vehicular crimes divisions in the country, and getting to work with them together it's going to pay dividends on the prosecution of this case. But to your question about the resources, we've got at least 3 different fire departments. We're going to have to pull this truck out using a heavy tow truck. The ME is on their way here. We really can't do anything with the truck until the ME gets here and does their investigation, takes their pictures. That's when we're going to know more about the victim in this case. And over the next few days, we're going to sit with the DA's office is going to sit with the living victim, and we'll know more about their relationship and kind of what they were doing. Because right now, he had to be rescued from under the truck. We're not as concerned about what went on from his point of view right now. It's just making sure he's okay. And obviously, the deceased victim is not going to be able to give us any information. So over the next few days, we're going to piece together that part of it. But what we know for sure right now is that he was driving a stolen truck. He ran from police. And because of that, a woman is dead.
How long has he been out on parole?
Those are things that we're just now getting. I know that the conviction was in 2013. So he is still currently on parole for that. But when he was actually discharged from TDCJ, we don't have that information yet. I will have it before I approach a magistrate at some point today to make sure that this is the last time that this guy can actually hurt anyone.
I may not have heard it because the noise behind me, but did you say he had a lengthy history?
He does. He has quite a lengthy criminal history. And I haven't gone through it line by line, but there is obviously evading motor vehicle. There's some property crimes. I believe there's a burglary in there. There's also, as you would imagine, some drug crimes as well. So we're going to go through all of that and really dig down into his history. He is apparently somewhere in his late 30s. I don't have his full identifiers yet, but he's being discharged as we speak. HPD is actually transporting him to the Joint Processing Center where the Harris County Sheriff's Department is actually going to file the charges. So.
Are we going to get the name?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We'll be able to give you that name in very short order.
Sorry, can you just recap? So far right now, 2 felonies and an aggravated assault charge?
So 1 felony murder and 1 aggravated assault charge. Those are both felonies. The murder is a first-degree felony, typically punishable by a minimum of 5, maximum of life in prison. The aggravated assault is a second-degree felony, punishable by between 2 and 20 years in prison. But because of this individual's criminal history, both of those punishment ranges are a minimum of 25 and a maximum of life in prison.
Any other questions, all?
Can you talk more about the man who was rescued, his condition right now?
So he sustained serious bodily injury. Other than that, we're going to wait for the doctors to kind of fully assess. We do know that his injuries rose to the level of serious bodily injury, which typically means broken bones, things of that nature. But until we get full medical records, we're not going to talk about specifics. But the amount where he was positioned, Commander and I went and looked under the truck and things. He was positioned directly under the fuel tank behind the front tire. So we believe he was run over by a tire. And they got him out, the EMT crews, the fire departments got him out extremely quickly. They were very professional about that, but the amount of tools and things they had to do just to get into the debris of the house to pull him out was really heroic. And tragically, there was nothing they could do for the victim, the female.
Can we get a description for him also, age?
My understanding is somewhere in the same neighborhood as our deceased victim, but you know we don't have an exact age. And for the deceased victim, until the medical examiner gets here and does their investigation, that's when we're going to know exactly who she is. They're the ones who positively identified deceased people.
I was hearing reports from firefighters that it took them upwards of 1 hour to shore up the vehicle and cut the male out of the house. Does that sound about right?
So what they've done back there, because of the damage caused to the real structure of the house, you see them, they've had the poles put up, the power poles that are effectively holding this house up. So that took time, certainly. I do know that they were communicating with that victim for a number of minutes, if not an hour, before they were able to extract him. He was alert, he was responding to them, but they couldn't get to him immediately. I mean, mostly because the house was going to fall down on both him and the firefighters if they didn't do that first.
Can I ask what level of frustration you have? Yeah, you work with, scenes where people are just driving to work or going, wherever they need to be. These people are literally in their home, likely sleeping. It's overnight. I mean, what can you tell Houstonians?
It's just, very few people understand the damage that a regular car can do. When you add on the weight of an 18-wheeler, it is a missile. It's not just a projectile and a bullet, it's a missile. But to your point, when you see complete innocent people get struck down through zero fault of their own, as you said, likely sleeping in their home and getting killed, it's incredibly frustrating. Your heart goes out to everyone that's involved with this family, just acquaintances, let alone their friends and family. But Houstonians as a whole, people are going to wake up this morning and watch this, and they're going to roll over and think about, my God, that could have been me. This was not a case of someone being out on the road or even going to work, or the last time we were all together, the valets who were working, running down the street. These are people that are literally at home in bed, and they get killed. So yeah, it's incredibly frustrating.
Any other questions, all? Okay, thank you, Sean. Thank you, Commander.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.